So I have another story for you guys from the bath in Sedona, Arizona. It's the end of my trip. I was thinking recently about how now that I'm in my 30s, I feel like I have evolved as a gay person dealing with the dating dynamics as a gay person. And recently I connected with a guy and he was very passive on an app. Very passive. I was basically driving the conversation and I just got bored. He wasn't inquisitive. He was just kind of responding to my comments, to my responses without like really engaging. So I just stopped responding. And then like a week or so later, he circled back just to say, hey. And I didn't respond again, because I'm like, ask me something. Ask me out for a drink. Like, ask me out for coffee. Like, I don't want a pen pal, okay? So I just stopped responding. I just was annoyed and I just didn't respond. And then serendipitously, we crossed paths. And I didn't realize that in 3D, I was way more into the guy than the guy in the pictures. And even just, it's not just physicality, his mannerisms, the way he spoke, the way his jaw moved when he spoke. I was just into him like more than I thought I'd be. And I was like, shit, like I shouldn't have ghosted him. So one of the first things I said was like, listen, sorry that I kind of disappeared. I just get annoyed when there's a lot of back and forth. Like, you know, I'm at an age where I want more stimulation and I wanted to go somewhere. And he was like, I get it. So we're talking and we discover that he lives, count them, 6 blocks away from me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 blocks away from me. And I'm like, oh my God, this sexy guy who seems cool in 3D version seems cool. That was the fireplace. Because I'm bougie like that. Lives 6 blocks away, like, was like thinking, like, this could be great. And so I set the intention and I was like, we should hang out. Let's hang out. Let's grab a drink. He was like, I don't drink. I'm like, totally cool. I respect that. We can get a coffee. We can go for a walk. Or we can just get club sodas. My favorite vanilla, like, you know, basic bitch beverage. I just love carbonated beverages. I don't know. I think it's like makes me think I'm drinking soda or something. I think it's like a psychological thing. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. We exchange numbers. He says a few sweet things. So I know he's attracted to me. Like, it's definitely mutual. And then that's it. I don't hear from him. That's okay. A week or so goes by and I'm like, let me set in, you know, let me follow up on that intention that I set. I gotta change positions. So I'm like, hey, how's it going? Still would love to hang out with you. And he's like, oh yeah. I'll know tomorrow what my schedule is for work, so I'll let you know. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you know, good night. It was like 10 p.m. or something. Never heard back from him. And then the next day I was on said app. Yes, it was Grindr. And it said that he was online and I'm like, damn. Like, you have a boy 6 blocks away that you felt a chemistry with, that I know you vocalize that you're attracted to me, and you don't want to just invest in the person that's there and you'd rather keep looking for the low-hanging fruit on Grindr? Do you really have that fast food of a mindset? So it annoyed me for half a second, and then I was like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. And in that moment, I was like, hey, that's pretty cool, because in my 20s, I would have obsessed a bit and been like, did I say something? Did I do something? Was he not actually into me? And that going down the rabbit hole thing would have commenced. And I would have been kind of resentful. Like, why would you waste my time? Like, for real, are you just looking for pen pals? Are you one of those guys? That's how I was more so in my 20s. I would come from a place of resentment and bitterness. Like, why is it so complicated? But I was so at peace with it because I had this mindset of, clearly it's not a match. Like, clearly if this guy, I live 6 blocks away from him and he has zero interest in getting from point A to point B, it's not a match. And I also was thinking, like, he could have his own issues. Like, he might have just had a rotten taco tonight and he's been dealing with food poisoning like, you don't know what's going on in somebody's life. His grandma might have just died. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's pretty cool that I now have that full circle mindset, not full circle, like peripheral sort of mindset of like, it's none of my business. Whatever the reason is, it's not a match, his loss. And I've never had that mindset of his loss. So I was kind of like proud of myself that I've come that far and I didn't even know that I was evolving to that point. But it was a good feeling. And it's like, at the end of the day, I don't want to keep encountering guys that are seeking low-hanging fruit, as they call it. Because if they're seeking that, they're probably low-hanging fruit themselves. So what do you do as an individual? Well, you can be resentful and bitter like I was for years because in my mind, I'm such an intention-based person, but that's not productive. And so I realized what to do instead is to pay attention to my surroundings. Eye contact in public. These things that, like, if you really know what you want, you're gonna click. I mean, that's at least my theory. It's a work in progress. But that's my story. What do you guys think about this? Can you relate to this?